So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to create your mass movement, because really what you want to do is create a mass movement behind what it is that you're an authority in, okay? Because understand this, the world is filled with broke experts and people with advice and opinions that no one even listens to. There's plenty of them around, right? But to get success, and I mentioned this earlier, you've got to find the right audience that wants to hear the message you have. It's not about getting a message to everyone, because that doesn't work. You need to find who's your target market, who's your audience. One of my friends growing up with, he's bachelor's in marketing, he used to have this funny statement that really hit home with me, was the fact that, let's say you have an email list of 1 million vegetarians, but if your business is selling steak, the list is worthless. So it's not about having a bunch of followers. It's not about having a bunch of people know who you are. It's about having the right followers and the right people know who you are based on your niche. And that's what we're going to be talking about, is how do you create a mass movement? So I want you to understand this. Success leaves clues, right? I remember in school you get in trouble for being a copycat, but in business you can get heavily rewarded. Now we're not saying steal, we're saying model after, right? And so what you want to do is find people that are successful and ask yourself, what is it they're doing? Because success leaves clues. You can actually see patterns. And a couple historical figures that literally are on opposite ends of the spectrum, that just to give you kind of some insights on how you're going to create your own mass movement, is take Jesus and Hitler, right? They both had a mass movement behind them, but they both thought about things in a completely different way, right? Very opposite end of the spectrums, yet they were able to build mass movements around their message. You follow me on that? And so what it is each, if you break down looking at what it is they did, they each had 3 things in common. And I'm going to show you what those 3 things are. And these are the 3 things that you start thinking to apply to your business. It's going to start to help you to create your own mass movement. Now, both of them, they're very charismatic leaders, right? They had these attractive characters or personas about them in a way that people kind of naturally gravitated to them. They're very passionate. You keep hearing us talking about passion. They had a cause. They are very charismatic about it, and they were passionate about it, and that's what kind of brought people to them. The second thing that they had in common was they were very future-based. It was, we talked about this. It's about outcomes. They were like, here's where we're going. This is where we're going towards. This is where you want to be. Very future-based messaging, right? Because that's what buys people in. They want to be a part of something that's growing, that's something that has momentum, right? Something that is bigger than yourself. I mean, that's human nature. We want to be a part of something bigger than us. So you want to be charismatic, but you also want to have some sort of future-based cause. And the third thing is, and this is what a lot of people get wrong, all right? I see this all the time, and quite frankly, I hope I don't offend you whenever I go into this, but the third thing is you've got to offer people a new opportunity, not an improvement offer, all right? People don't want to improve. People want a new opportunity. Improvement kind of says that there's something wrong with me, right? And improvement isn't really like, I'll use the word sexy. People aren't like, ooh, I want to improve, versus like, wow, this is an amazing new opportunity. So you want to think to yourself, and what it is that you're doing is become charismatic, which essentially is just being passionate about what you do. Because some people might think, well, I don't really have charisma. No. Be passionate about what it is you do. That's why it's so important about not chasing the dollar, and instead chasing a cause and a mission, right? Then also position it where it's very future-based. Here's the outcome. Here's where we're going. This is what's going to happen, all right? Then the third one is, what's the new opportunity? What's the new vehicle? Why is your thing different from the others? It's not like we're just improving like all my other people are trying to do in my space. I have this whole new vehicle, and we're going in this, and that's what brings people to you naturally. So those are 3 key elements to have within your business as far as establishing yourself as an expert and authority within your space. So again, just remember, all you gotta do is look in your space. There's probably other people who are already having success within your niche. Look at it, what are they doing? Think, how are they doing it? And then go, how can I start to apply some of that by modeling? We're not copying, but modeling after that for our own business, right? How can I do that? Because again, success leaves clues. And when you invoke those 3 things, that's when you start to watch people go from followers to fans, right? Not just kind of following you. They're like raving fans. They support you. They cry out for you. They are true to you, and you are now the authority within the space. And this is where I want to break down one of these false beliefs that a lot of people have. You don't need 1 million followers, all right? What you're really looking for is 1,000 hardcore true fans. The world has like 7-8 billion people on it, right? I just need 1,000, right? That's all you need. You just need 1,000. Start thinking that. I don't need 1 million. I need 1,000. When you have 1,000 hardcore true fans, these are the fans that they buy whatever you release. Whether you got swag, check out my swag, right? Whether you've redone a course or you released a new course, maybe you have a 2.0 because you've learned things. So you go back and kind of rework that. If you're speaking at events, you're having some sort of live event, even if it's a virtual event, some sort of a live webinar, they are the people that no matter what you do, they're on board with you. That's your tribe. That's your core. Once you have 1,000 of them, you can literally step away from whatever business you're in and make a livable income off only 1,000. And to me, when I was learning this concept, that's very manageable. I can find 1,000 people, right? There's 7 billion on the globe. I can find 1,000. You can find 1,000 too. And so give yourself a little bit of a break and release some of that overwhelm, because as people start thinking about becoming experts, sometimes there can be like, man, that's a lot. There's a lot going on. No, I just need to find 1,000 hardcore true fans, right? And with those fans, I'm going to be able to make the impact and build the business of my dreams. As Russell Brunson put it, you're almost wanting to create a culture, right? Not a cult, but a culture. And that's what you're going to be doing with your fans, is they're raving about you because you're charismatic, future-based, you have a new opportunity for them. And with that, you start to create your own culture. I love that. It's a culture. So as we talked about in the first secret, it's about becoming a charismatic leader, right? To find, who am I in my attractive character? Every movement has one. You've got to start to think about yourself as positioning, I'm going to be the charismatic leader of this cause. I'm going to be the voice. And you may have fears, you may have doubts. It's very natural. We all have those things that hold us back, and that's normal. It's completely natural. So don't start thinking you're alone, because you're not. Anything new, I always say nothing's hard, it's just new, right? As you start to step into this role and become your authority, it's like when your anxiety's high, when your knowledge is low, as your knowledge starts to grow, your anxiety goes down. Cool, right? And so what we're doing is we're learning about this to give us that confidence to be the charismatic leader for our niche. So just understand that secret, which we mentioned earlier, is you've become the leader because you've already discovered a path. You've already been working in this space. You've already got experience from trial and error. You've attended conferences. You've done books and trainings. You've put sweat equity into the game. That's what qualifies you to be the leader in the space. And so now that you've discovered your path, all you're trying to do is really like reach back and lead others. You're like, hey, come with me. I've already figured all that out. Avoid all those things. I've done the things that, let me tell you what not to do, because I didn't know and I did them. And if I could have skipped them, wow, what would that have done with my business, right? And so as a charismatic leader, that's what you're doing. You're just showing them what you've already done based on what you already know and have learned. I hope you're starting to see this common thread. Everything begins and starts with your own personal growth. The fact that you're here, so that you are investing in your personal growth. But when you start to explode, it comes back when your growth transitions into contribution to others. And so that's what, to me, it's to step down. It's like, it's not like you have to be I have to be this big, great thing. No, all I gotta do is start to share and help others know what I know. You're just reaching back with information you already have within inside your head. And so here's the thing. We all have these like two voices in our head, right? You can think about like in the cartoons, we had like the angel and the little devil, right? You have these two, we all have them. We all have these two voices in our head. And like voice one's like, you're destined for greatness. You're amazing. Anything you do is going to work. They can't stop you. But then we have this other voice. And the other voice says like, you're not ready. No one's going to listen to you. You're not smart enough. You're not capable. No one cares. That's the voice that often sometimes can overshadow the real voice you need to be listening to. Because like I talked about in the parables, we all have God-given talents that we have that come naturally to us, right? And it's literally an injustice not to share those with people. You're doing a huge disservice by not taking what your talents are, because we all have them. There are things that I am not great in. There are things that I'm amazing in. But to take your talents, what are you amazing in, and sharing them with the world, it's a true injustice not to do that for people. And that's what those doubts and fears actually keep people from taking action. And really, that's a sad story. Because those that don't take action, kind of like in the parable, they get their talents taken away. But actually what happens is, if you don't start to use your talents, you're robbing yourself. You're not just robbing the masses that needs to hear your message. You're robbing yourself of the experiences that you could have had, the moments that you could have experienced, what you could have been a part of, the impact you could have done, right? Let's not have a life of could-haves. That's not where we're going. We're here to be authorities in the space. We're in the life where we're gonna have. That's the thing. It also, if you don't take action on your strengths, you're depriving of the people that need to hear your message, that need your help. They're literally waiting for you to come around to say something like that. I mean, I can only imagine, had I not talked with that guy in prison before I went home, if he didn't tell me that 15-minute rule, I probably could have put myself in a dangerous situation without even realizing it. That could have put me and cost me more time of going back to a place I was looking to avoid, right? I needed to hear his information. and your tribe needs to hear your information. The reason that we all have these talents is so they can be shared. So we can, like we keep talking about, we are going to contribute with our talents, with our skill sets. We're contributing them to the world. We're not consuming anymore. We've done the consumption. We need to start contributing and helping others avoid the mistakes that we've done and to get the results that we know that can happen based on what we've already done through our own trials and tribulations. And so just keep remembering, whenever that little voice says you're not capable, you're not able, there's people waiting on you. And it's a tragedy and a disservice to them if you don't get out there and listen to the other voice. Instead, it's like, no, you're a rock star, man. And it's time to dominate your space. And they've been waiting for you to come along. You're the one that's going to make the difference in their lives. So it's like for me, my superpower, and it took me really a long time to realize this, is one of my superpowers is being able to take like complex information and simplify it in a way that makes it easy to understand. Hence why I enjoy teaching and training. And I didn't really understand what my superpower was. It took a lot of digging to get it because, I grew up in the restaurant industry and I'm a quick learner and I could get things done. It doesn't take me long to kind of get the concept of something and do it. And then that's when I realized, it's like, no, that's my superpower, is I need to share that with people, right? Because if I don't share that with people, others that maybe could have done something, but they didn't have the simplified information on how to do it, they never got a chance to. And now I'm robbing them, and I'm not just robbing them, I'm robbing the people they could have impacted. And so that's where you really got to ask, what is it that you're naturally good at? What is it that comes simple to you? Because that's the thing. Usually what comes natural to you, and just really listen to this part, your superpower probably goes unnoticed if you haven't discovered it yet. What is it, the things that people always say you're really good at? What is it, the things that you don't have to put a lot of thought and effort, you can just naturally do it? Because what happens is, because they're natural and common to us, like, you don't think it's super, right? You're like, no, that's common, I can do that, da 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 da. But no, it's super. It's not super to you because you have the talent, because you have the ability. But when other people are complimenting you on how you do things, and they go, wow, man, you can always do this, or you can always do that, those are kind of hints that there's a superpower there because they can't do it, right? Not all of us have the same superpower. So you really got to spend some time and do kind of like an inventory of yourself and go, what is it I'm good at? What is it I suck at? And it's okay. You're not supposed to be good at everything. We're trying to find those few things that you're amazing at. And so these are things that you've either just come naturally to you, or you've spent time mastering them. Depending on your career, you might have been working in a trade or working in a certain business for a decade. And so maybe it wasn't natural in the beginning, but you've become a superpower at it because you put the time and energy and effort to get good at it. And that's the thing that you're going to start sharing with people as an authority within the space. I'll tell you some things that I'm not that great at. My wife's brother, he is master with like woodworking and things like that. I remember one Christmas, he lives out of state and he came home and he like made all his sisters all these like wooden box jewelry things and like hanging like key stuff and all this like intricate wood things, where to me, I was literally blown away. I'm like, I could never build something like that, or it would have that many, right? Let alone there's like 6 sisters. Let alone how long it would have taken me, because to him, his natural ability, he's really good with the physical and creating things. He's like, oh, it only took me like a day or two. I did it over the weekend once. And I'm like, man, that would have taken me like 3 months to do all that stuff, because that's not what I'm great at. But that's his superpower and his ability, right? And so it's learning. What's cool is you learn what other people's are and you complement each other's. And there's people that need your superpower out there to solve a problem and a solution within their life. And so if you're still thinking about this through this video and you're like, I'm still kind of pondering, just again, recapping, to find your superpower and to build that mass movement, ask yourself, like, what is it that comes easy to you, right? Or what is it that you just like, you're passionate about, you love to geek out on, like you find yourself doing it whether you get paid or not because it's just fun to you, you enjoy it. Those are real clues and hints as to finding what it is that your superpower is. Because through the training that you're getting on this, we're going to be developing your superpower so that you can share it with the world and be the authority in your space based on your God-given talents.